What's up guys, welcome to ABAUTO. Now I'm sitting here in the gorgeous CLA45s, which has this special exhaust button down here in the center console. Now in my C43, this used to just be a simple button you press and open and close the exhaust valves, but now it's a bit more complicated. Mercedes Benz call it AMG Pure Performance Sound. AMG Pure Performance Sound is AMG's answer to the new EU rules, regulations and sound limitations. It's a clever system developed purely for AMGs, which pipes in real sound from the engine and exhaust into the cabin using microphones and speakers. This is not like the traditional fake sounds some car manufacturers pump into cabins. Instead, we get to hear enhanced real sounds from the car. So what are my real life thoughts on this exhaust button down here? Now, currently we're driving in comfort mode and we've got the exhaust button switched off, but if we switch it on, you can immediately hear a little bit more rumble. Now if we turn it off, it's not as noticeable in comfort mode, but if we go to race mode, immediately just listen to how much drama there is in accelerating, and that is not all of it, but that is thanks to this exhaust button down here. It just sounds so good in the cabin. I mean, yeah, it's not going to sound as good from outside, and we will test that. It's just so dramatic. Right, so we're in race mode, and obviously race mode is the loudest, it's the lairiest, but let's keep it in race mode and then turn the button off now and see what happens. Wow, that is a huge difference. I don't know if it's going to come through on the camera, but there is a big difference in the sound, and that is thanks to some actual valves in the exhaust as well. So that's a high acceleration now with the button. We'll turn the button off now. Now we're going to do the same. So it actually still sounds pretty good with the button turned off. Let's try it again now. Let's try an acceleration without the exhaust button on. So that's a little bit of acceleration there with the exhaust button off. Now let's try it with it on. Which is a lot more dramatic, so that's adding quite a bit of sound in. And remember, it's going to be the valves as well in the exhaust. There are actual physical valves which open and close, but that little splash of AMG performance sound, even though it's coming in, it's pumped in, at least it's real sound. It's not like that stuff you get in some other cars where it just plays a synthesized track. So yeah, I think it adds loads to the driver experience. And I will admit, when I first got the car, I wasn't sure what to expect. I'd read about it and I thought, I'll probably code that and turn that off, but I can't deny it, I can't lie. I really, really like it. It just makes the drive so much more exciting. And it's not like an annoying noise either. It just feels like actual engine sound, because it's the real sounds coming through. So it's not this predictable, repetitive tone. You get different sounds based on what the engine and the exhaust is doing. So to summarize, from a real world experience, having owned this car now for 1 year, I really like it. And that might be a controversial point, but because I'm all for the big juicy V8s and the loud noises, but if this is what they have to do and it's the law now, then I'm so glad that AMG at least tried, and yeah, I think it's a pretty good solution. Okay, so those are my thoughts, but let's capture some sound so you can judge for yourself. Here's how it sounds accelerating hard in comfort mode with the exhaust switched off. Now here's how it sounds in race mode, also with the exhaust switched off. And finally, here's how it sounds in race mode with everything switched on. Okay, so that sounds really loud inside the car thanks to the piped in sound, but how does it sound outside the car? Well guys, that was a bit underwhelming. Now, AMG still have one trick up their sleeve, and that's something called AMG Motion Start. AMG Motion Start is a special startup activated by pressing the start button while holding down on one of the paddle shifters. As you heard, it starts the car up with lots of pops and bangs. It's so fun because it's different every time you start the car. You never know how many pops you're going to get, and sometimes they're really crazy. I just love it. So what are my final thoughts on the AMG pure performance sound and the future sound of AMGs? Well, it's a sad time for sure guys, because we no longer get to enjoy the furious sound of a big juicy V8. I will say though, what AMG have managed to do here really is the absolute best of a bad situation. They've done everything they can to make sure this car has as much drama as the AMGs we all know and love. And well, if you're lucky enough to drive the CLA45s, you will know exactly what I mean. The floor in this car is absolutely insane. The power and pull from the engine and the response from the pedal is such a thrilling experience, and the loud interior engine sounds add so much drama. You truly have to drive this car and experience it yourself to appreciate just how fun it is to tear around. Now guys, let's not kid ourselves, it does not sound nearly as good as it should from the outside. But hey, it's time to change that. That's right, the CLA45s is over a year old, and I think it's time to modify the exhaust. So now we've covered the stock exhaust system on this car, it's time to change it up and see if we can get this car sounding exactly like it should from the factory. So guys, stay tuned and hit that subscribe button and like button so you don't miss what we're gonna do with the exhaust in this car. I can't wait. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.